Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hobby Lodge, and today's video is going to be about my next big miniature painting project. For those of you that watch the channel and have seen some of my live streams, you know that recently, a few weeks ago, I completed the Moonstone project I was doing, where I now have some really great miniatures for playing that tabletop game. And then I took a bit of a break. That tends to happen. I kind of exhaust all of my creative juices, or my painting juices, whatever you want to call it, whilst doing a project. Then I have a bit of a break, and then I feel like I want to get back into it. So I'm ready for my next project, and there may be clues about what that is on the screen behind me, although you've probably seen the thumbnail, let's be fair. Anyway, the next project I'm going to do is going to be much more in a historical setting. I'm very much known for painting sci-fi and fantasy miniatures, where you get to pretty much do whatever you like. I haven't got much experience painting in a historical setting. I've done some Flames of War 15mm World War II. I've done some Bolt Action 28mm World War II, and that's pretty much it. So this is going to be a bit different, although that's not quite true. I have painted some Vikings before, and they were pretty nice to paint. But yeah, not an awful lot in a historical warfare setting. So now we're going to be going back to Napoleonic Black Powder era fighting in The Chosen Men. So this is the game I'm going to be playing, and it is based on one of my favorite TV shows and favorite movies from those TV shows, Sharpe. You know, Sean Bean, the leader of a ragtag but elite soldiers in the British Army, skirmishing against the French forces of Napoleon. Superb series. If you've not seen the TV series, I cannot recommend it highly enough. It's on the screens behind me, and I absolutely love it. And the movies that come along with it are fantastic as well. Sean Bean at his best, and unlike all of his other movies and films and TV shows, he doesn't die in this one. Oh, that might be a bit of a spoiler. Who knows? Does he? Oh, but anyway, you should definitely check it out. Fantastic series. I genuinely really like it. So yes, Osprey Games publish a set of rules. This is authored by Mark Latham, and it is called The Chosen Men, and it is specifically designed for, rather than huge Napoleonic War battles, of which, you know, historical gamers absolutely love, where they might have an 8-foot long, 10-foot long table with tons and tons of miniatures on it, having those massive battles. This really focuses in on the skirmishing that happened around those battles. And that's what The Chosen Men were fantastic at. Going in, causing problems, taking out forces that were maybe supporting some of these battles, and, you know, finding out what the French troops are up to, you know, this kind of elite squad. So yeah, so that's the game, and I'll be going into this in more detail. I should be jumping into that rulebook more and taking you through it, but of course I need some miniatures to paint, don't I? So let me grab some of those. So first of all, we'll start off with the bad guys. These are the guys that are going to get slaughtered, so we won't waste too much time on them. But it is from Warlord Games, and it is a box of late French light infantry. In here, and we'll jump into the box in a second, in here is a multi-part plastic kit, and then the officers and the sort of senior ranks are all metal miniatures, and I love metal miniatures. So yeah, we're going to jump into that box in a second. I'll show you the back, so you can kind of see what you're going to get. There's 24 in there, I believe. It's a little bit out of focus, but you get the gist. We're going to jump in. You'll see these up closer anyway. But there we go. 24 miniatures in there to make up your skirmishing force for the French. Won't last 5 minutes. And then, of course, we've got to have The Chosen Men. And again, Warlord Games do a box of the 95th Rifles Chosen Men. There they are in all their glory. Absolute rifle experts and skirmishing experts. These guys are going to tear the French apart. And the nice thing about these is that these, again, are all metal miniatures. I love metal miniatures. I love the weight, the feel, the detail on a metal miniature. Yes, you can't, you know, multi-pose them and change them too much, but they are a joy to paint. So I'm really happy that these are still in metal. A lot of companies now obviously moving to plastic, but I'm really glad I get to paint these up in the metal. So again, we're going to jump into that box in a second. And of course, lastly, I need the two iconic characters. I need Sharpe, and I need his right-hand man, Harper. So these come from a company called Brigand Games, and they are, this is going to be really hard for me to show you on the camera, so don't worry, we're going to jump to the close camera in a sec and see these. But there is Sharpe with his sword ready some close combat. And here is Harper with, in case you didn't know, a 6-barreled shotgun type rifle. Very difficult to get him to focus, doesn't want to focus, but we'll show you under the close camera in a second. Yeah, so really happy I've got these. They are from America, so I had a friend who went to Historicon a few years ago, and he mentioned that they were there. He picked them up for me very kindly. Thank you, my friend. Because otherwise, if you buy them in the UK from America, the miniatures are only like $8, but then you pay twice, if not triple the amount to actually ship them here. So yeah, if you've got a friend in America, maybe they can buy it and post it over, or if someone's over the thing, and you know, they're difficult to get hold of. But I have seen there are other companies in the UK now who do a version of Sharpe and Harper, but to me these are the two best. There is one more character I would love to get, and that is Sharpe's first wife, Teresa, I believe her name is, and she's a pretty badass character in the TV series as well. So I think Bad Squiddo Games do a version of her, so I'm gonna have to check that out, because I would love to add her to the forces. As I say, in the TV show, she's pretty awesome. Anyway, let's jump over to the close cam, take a little bit of a deeper look at this stuff. Here we have the rule book, and this isn't going to be a deep dive into the book. We're going to come back to the book and go through it in detail. But I wanted to just quickly show you, because there is a really good thing that this book does that will help in this project. And that is that, you know, when you're painting fantasy, when you're painting sci-fi miniatures, you can pretty much do whatever you like, because no one can say that Space Marine should be a certain color, or that anthropomorphic rabbit should look like this, or that dragon should look like that. These you can do pretty much whatever you like. But when you're painting historical miniatures, you're going to want to try and keep it in the era that it's for. You know, the Chosen Men did wear a uniform, and if I don't paint them like it, doesn't have to be 100% accurate, but if I don't stay within the realms of reality for that, then they won't be the Chosen Men, right? They won't look like how I want them to look like. They won't look like how they're represented in the TV show. So this book really helps because it's full of artwork for me to follow. So, you know, even this front cover here already shows me some really cool little details about how the Chosen Men were uniformed. And it's actually full of images throughout the book. As I look here, you know, there are not only just fantastic artwork, but also, you know, painted images as well. So, you know, there's miniature models that have been painted, but also painted artwork that I can copy and follow and get some inspiration from. So yeah, this will be really, really useful without even having to go through the rules and everything else in there. So yeah, the Chosen Men book, I'm really happy that it's full of this. Sometimes they put black and white images into these books, but the fact that these are in color, I'm able to go through and really get an idea of how I potentially want to paint my forces up. So yeah, that's the book. Like I said, we're going to do a separate video on coming back and looking in more detail at the rule set and how the game plays. Okay, we need our bad guys, and in this instance it is the late French light infantry from Warlord Games. Take a look. So the first thing we're going to pull out is the metal miniatures in here. So again, I love these. I love the weight of them. I love the feel of them. And as you can see, some really great looking, some one piece or mono pose, as people might call them, but just one piece miniatures. Now you'll see like little imperfections on them. Like this is actually a piece of flash. This will be cut away. I can literally pull it off. But also, you know, a little bit of filing, a little bit of cutting here and there. Nothing too serious, and they will come up fantastic. And when you're playing with them, there's nothing quite like holding a weighted metal miniature compared to a plastic one. This one clearly, like the leader of the force, looks a bit like Bonaparte, but it's not. Yeah, just an officer or captain or whatever they might be. We can learn more about that as we go. But yeah, some really cracking little miniatures here, and the metal ones do seem to be all of the officers, the actual regiment. Or the infantry themselves seem to be the ones that come in the plastic. So yeah, again, nice little details, little bit of cleanup, and they will come out fantastic. Let's jump into the plastic sprue. So this is more what you'd expect to see when you open up a box of models. There we go, 4 little sprues, and on each of these sprues is basically exactly the same. So you can see here, you get 6 bodies, a whole bunch of options for heads, and then these backpacks for them to carry their ammo pouches in and all sorts of things like that. So yeah, nice. These again aren't really mono-pose, so I mean they could have been, I'm sure they were at one point, just metal miniatures, but a lot of companies, as I said, have shifted away from metal to produce plastic because it's cheaper, easier, and all of those reasons. But I'm so glad that some companies are still sticking with metal because I love them. But yeah, like I say, you can swap heads around and things like that, so you can get some, you know, when you've got your lineup of your inventory, you want a bit of variation. You don't want them to all look exactly the same because it's just not good. So yeah, really happy with these. Nice and simple. I have got one that I believe is broken. A bayonet has broken off at the top, but I should be able to repair that fairly easily. I have the broken piece, but yeah, there we go. That is the light French infantry. Okay. We've got the good guys. We've got the chosen men, the British 95th Rifles. Love these guys. They're amazing in the TV show. And again, I'm going to just say again, if you haven't seen the TV show, go and see the TV show. Watch the movies. They are brilliant. And they, of course, they're not historically accurate to a degree of a documentary or anything. But for someone like me who just wants to see and feel what it was like in those times, it's really good. I really enjoy it. I probably watch the whole lot maybe once a year. I go back to it time and time again, and because I've put it on behind me just for this video, really, it's made me go, oh yeah, I'm going to watch this now. So after this video, throughout the next week, Sharpe's going to be all over the telly. So let's jump into the chosen men. As you can see here, this elite crew, ragtag, you know, individuals, but an elite crew of rifle specialists for skirmishing against the French forces. And I say the nice thing here is all metal miniatures, so no sprues to come out, just some blister packs. And let's go through some of them. We won't go and look at all of them because some of them, there are repeat models in here, but there are some great looking ones as well. So here's a rifleman taking a shot. Again, looks fantastic. We have a lookout here as he spotted some French. Another rifleman taking a shot. This one's running into battle. You know, he's trying to catch up. Maybe got left behind a bit. And don't worry, that's not a bent bayonet. That is a bit of flash coming off the end of the gun there, which needs fixing, or needs cutting off. We've got this guy here. He's drawing his sword, maybe just about to go into close combat, drawing his sword out. I like this one. This one is not the classic sort of one leg shot. He's slid in on his knees. He looks like he's very quickly getting to his knees, getting into a more hunkered position to take a really important shot. You know, can he make it? Yeah, so that's one. So there's just a repeat in there. So I'll grab the other one. You can probably hear me clunking the miniatures around, that metal miniature sound. We have a trumpet player here, bugle player, calling attention to something. You know, maybe he spotted some forces. I like this one. This guy's sat in position, resting the rifle up on his foot there to take a really long shot. Maybe at Napoleon himself, who knows? Maybe he's got an opportunity. Yeah, it's a cool little miniature, that one, where he's one foot on top of the other, resting his rifle on top to take a really good long shot at somebody. This one I really like as well. He's laying on his side, taking a bit of cover to quickly reload his rifle. These rifles were very difficult to load. There was no rapid fire. It was take a shot, maybe take the next minute or two to reload your rifle. So that was great. There is a dog in here, which I love. So the dog will 100% be painted up to run around with them. And then, yeah, there was a couple of others. There was like a captain or something in here, but it's definitely not a Sharpe type character. So he may not make it into the force. He may just be replaced by Sharpe. But who knows? We will do them all. I think there's more than I need here for an actual skirmishing force. And then you've got another rifleman and so on and so forth. Like I said, some of them are repeated. The guy drawing his sword, the guy laying down, loading his rifle. So there are some repeats in here, but I don't actually think complete without the iconic characters of both Sharpe and his right-hand man, Harper. So here they are. And we'll start off with Harper. As you can see there, modelled with his awesome 6-barreled shotgun rifle thing. I don't know what to call it. It's like the first ever Gatling gun or something. It causes a lot of damage, and only one person could wield it, and that is Harper. He is a man not to be messed with in this TV series. But yes, I can only assume that once he's fired it probably takes him off screen about half an hour to reload this thing. But yeah, can't wait to paint him. He is an awesome character in the series, and again, I urge you, please go and watch it and let me know what you think about it in the comments below. But yeah, there's Harper from Brigand Games. And then the star of the show, we have Sharpe, with his sword, his saber drawn, ready to fight in close combat. Of course, he was excellent with a rifle and a pistol, but I love to get in there, get in amongst it, and cause some problems with his sword. He's got the iconic tunic that he wears, which will be a joy to sort of paint up as best I can. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to painting up Sharpe there. He is the star of the show, and we'll try and give some extra attention to him if we can. But yeah, there is those are the forces. So you've seen the rule book, you've seen the French, you've seen the chosen men, and now you've seen Sharpe and Harper. There we go. The next project is underway. It is the chosen men. It is all about Sharpe's rifles, the chosen men, following the TV show and the movies of Sean Bean as Sharpe, and I cannot wait to get started on it. It's going to be interesting because it's going to make me. I'm going to clearly be watching all of the series again and the movies. I'm going to have them on in the background cheekily. There's going to be no sound, sadly, but yeah, everything I do is live streamed, right? So if you want to watch me paint, build, talk about this game, I'll be live streaming it on both YouTube and Twitch. If you've not seen me over on Twitch before, twitch.tv/thehobby-lodge, and of course, hopefully you're watching this on YouTube. So yeah, if you want to see more about this project as it goes forward, hit the subscribe button and follow along, and it'd be much appreciated. And give me your comments. Have you seen this show? Have you enjoyed it? What's your thoughts on the whole era? Yeah, let me know. If you've got any questions, I will try and answer them. But yeah, it is all about the chosen men, and I cannot wait to get stuck in. All right. Well, thanks very much for watching, and I'll hopefully see you in future videos about this. But there's loads more on the channel as well, and I'll speak to you soon. Okay. Bye-bye.